because they have more burst damage, they have more with the Zeus and the Pugna. But there are certain situations that they were forced to take a fight without BKB. They were forcing a fight, so they were losing at the start. And then it came to a midpoint of the game where eHome had their BKBs. So that's the point of when they are stronger. And they started to win back some team fights. They got Roshan. And then it went towards the late game where the window went back towards the spellcasting team because the BKBs are going down to 5 seconds. So it's a very interesting shift in the momentum during the game because of the BKBs.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed relatively even up to about 25, 26 minutes, which is about when you said, it started to change for eHome. And then they kind of lost their way a little bit, and VG sort of showed a bit of class, came back into it again. Why do you think it went away from eHome that way from the mid-game?
I think it's just like what I mentioned, the power spike of when your BKB goes down to 5 seconds, and you kind of want to get a refresher, but you don't have time for that, and you get forced to defend your base, and you just have to take the fight without having enough items, and you have only 5 second BKB. You get kited around, and the spell is going to kill you after your BKB runs out.
Except they were sort of feeling each other out a lot, even though they know each other well and they've played a lot together and against each other in the past. But they seem to be sort of standoffish a little bit, almost classic old-school Chinese farming and, just waiting for the right moment. I mean, I think we waited something like 20 minutes towards the end before they actually decided they were going to fight.
I felt like the fact that ROTK had such a bad game on Darkseer, not like his performance, just the fact that he got a tough laning phase and he was really poor in that game, it was a big problem for eHome. They just couldn't get the fights they wanted to get. Darkseer is made like the biggest factor. We've been saying eHome, they always have team fight, but they always have Darkseer. It's pretty much down to the Darkseer, and they do have a lot of, like Loda mentioned before when he was here, they do have a lot of spells to follow up with the Darkseer initiation, but it never came because the dagger was so late. It was such a late dagger. Maybe he should have went mech dagger instead of going for the Greaves. I felt like they needed someone to actually go in because you don't fight Zeus, Pugna. You got to open the fight and go on them. If you don't, they're just going to verse you down. They're going to slowly harass you until you actually can't fight them.
Yeah, I actually agree with Seb a lot. The Greaves doesn't feel like it was worth it this game because it was mostly spell damage.
Okay, moving forward, looking forward to the next game. What do eHome do now? Do we see the Darkseer banned out this time? Is that going to help either team?
They should grab it again if they can. I think I don't think it was a problem. Just maybe adjust it a bit more. And when the description of eHome is actually like feast off, offlane, and in that case, it really was. He got nothing. So maybe they should give him a bit more space, tag for him a bit, or just gank on his lane.
Yeah.
Because that was Darkseer was too poor.
He was, and I agree with what you were on to. Maybe a different item build could have worked. He needed a Blink BKB pretty much to go into the fight. That's what they needed in that game. Glimmer Cape also saved so many people.
Definitely.
Yeah, players are on their way out to the arena to rejoin the pods that they have waiting for them.